Hey, Alison and preschool peeps.
Hello, Cindy. And preschool peeps.
And yes, and all the people listening either on your podcast provider or YouTube, watching on YouTube. So today's question for the podcast is, will the kids catch up? Looking forward, we said we were going to do episodes looking forward. Mm-hmm. So as they start to come up with plans for schools, whether they were to reopen this school year or no, the question is, will the kids catch up? Because we know that, or I think we know, that for many, many children, distance learning is sort of a substitute in these emergency times, but it's not the same as learning in person with someone. And I was telling Alison that I was watching someone on the news talking about plans for their area and saying to the families, don't worry, we have an awesome school system. And it's not where we are, by the way. It's not where Alison and I are. So anyone who thinks it might be, don't run to your lawyer. They were saying something about they have an awesome school system, and when those kids get back, we're going to catch them up real quick. And what do you think my reaction was, Alison?
What?
Basically. No, you're not. You're not catching them up real quick.
No, you're not. It's not that simple, people. I've heard that. I've heard news reports of that. Like, oh, don't worry, the kids are smart. They'll catch up real quick.
Well, yeah, the kids are smart, but the kids have also been through a trauma.
Yes. The kids
and the kids
are
have
smart,
been
and
separate
the kids are,
now for months.
And they are resilient, and I understand all of that, and I do believe that they are smart and resilient and accepting and whatever. However, we've never gone through something like this before, okay? And the amount of social emotional learning that needs to happen when we get back to school is going to be immense.
Yes. Daunting.
Immense. Mm-hmm. Daunting. Yeah. So I don't think people are realizing that. I don't know why they're not realizing that, but I don't think they are thinking of that.
Well, I think some people are. I think that there's chatter in a lot of places about what are we going to do, not only about the social emotional health of the children, but also the staff who need to work with the children. And so social emotional is becoming where it should be, actually, which is a primary focus. And that's how it should be, always. And now, we're going to have young children who haven't been with same age peers in that large sort of setting for a while. They're not used to being in a classroom. What have they gotten used to? They've gotten used to Zoom and other products like that, or Google Classroom and whatever it is they're using. And will, in this time, when this all first started, Alison, I think it's a safe thing to say that none of us knew how to do it. None of us knew how to do it well. Teachers continue to improve their practices online. I see it. I get to observe teachers doing it, and I see the improvements, and they tell me what it was like the first few weeks and what a hot mess it was to do classes online. But now they've got it. They've got a pattern. They've got the parents, for the most part, cooperating and bringing things to the Zoom sessions that they can use to teach, and they're figuring it out. That being said, will there be skill slippage? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Somebody said to me that they were concerned that a child wouldn't be ready for kindergarten. I said, don't worry, no one will be.
Yeah, no one will be. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you take them into kindergarten and go, all right, here's where I got to get you in the next 2 weeks. No. They've been out for months.
We need months, 6 months of no school, where we live at least. March, April, May,
By
June,
the time
July,
September
August.
comes?
September hits, they've been out of school for 6 months.
You're right, 6 months.
So we have the summer slippage, of where they're out of school for 2 months, and they lose some skills there, and that we expect. 6 months though, 6 months in a totally different world than what summer usually is, where they can't go outside, they can't be with friends, they can't see peers, they can't go to summer camps. They can't go do all the cool things that they normally do when they learn at. 6 months of that. 6 months.
Also, their routines. They're out of that routine now.
Totally
Even just
out of it.
The routine. So they've learned a new routine. They've learned a new way, right? To unlearn something takes twice as long as to learn it. So I have no scientific proof for this, but here's what I think. For, let's say it'll be 6 months, they unlearned how to be a student in school.
Yep.
Now they're going to have to unlearn that, right?
Well, yeah.
They learned how to, I guess what I should say is I misspoke. They learned how to be a student outside of school, some of them. And now they're going to have to unlearn that and become a student in school. If past theories are correct, and it takes approximately twice as long to unlearn something than to learn it. If they were out 6 months, it's going to take like probably a solid year.
A year to get back into the groove of school.
Get back to some sort of groove.
To get back into the groove of school.
Get it back into the groove. And the groove is going to be weird, folks. The groove is going to be not like school that we grew up in. It's going to be social distanced, with all sorts of rules and regulations that actually can impede on the educational time. So they're going to get
a schedule that might not be a normal routine schedule.
Right. The schedule might be also, they might go a couple days a week, So what's going to happen is they're going to then learn this new routine, have to adjust to that.
Yes.
Start working with things. And then who knows, there could be another routine right after that. So I think, last episode we talked about acceptance. Here's a thing for acceptance. Ready? The kids are not going back, catching up in a couple of weeks and moving forward. Not most of them. Some of them, because you always have a range. Some of them.
Yeah.
But some of, no, not everybody. Please don't promise people that. And instead, what I think needs to happen is our educational systems need to adjust, not the children. Why are the children always being asked to adjust? The educational systems need to adjust. Those people in charge who are saying things like, we'll catch them up. No. Adjust.
Well, also, like, I saw that one where it's like, oh, I'm the teacher, I will catch your kid up. Okay, well, that's putting a lot of pressure on teachers during a time where there's no way. Like, there's just no way.
Every child has had a different experience. No way.
And then if the kid doesn't catch up in a month, is it my fault? No, we went through this time.
It's solidly your fault, Allison. It's
right, but that's what one of the I saw. Yeah,
I'm gonna be like, what's wrong with you?
But I know, but there are teachers that are posting stuff like that. Oh, like that's my job. Like, no, yeah, it's your job to teach.
My job.
Yeah, that's not my job.
Is to help them come back, to feel safe, primarily to feel safe, to feel secure, to know their needs will be met, because that is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Yes. We can't be the best version of ourselves, taught Abraham Maslow, until we know our physical needs will be met. We feel safe and secure. We feel that we belong there. We develop some self-esteem, and then we can be the best version of ourselves. Everybody go look up Maslow's hierarchy of needs, find the pyramids that are online, and you start at the bottom, and every level of that pyramid has to be fulfilled before the children can really be the best version of themselves and have success, which means the first things we need to do, thank you, Abraham Maslow, are to make sure their physical needs can be met and that they feel safe and secure in our settings. And that's where our focus is going to have to be. And to feel safe and secure isn't just physical safety. It also is emotional safety.
Yeah. So, and that's going to take a lot longer to fulfill
so much.
There's going to be a lot of anxiety for these kids and a lot of anxiety for teachers to go back and feel safe at school. Mm-hmm. So to get just that block filled out is going to take, God knows how long that's going to take. I don't even know. Can't even predict. And then you want them to just catch up academically like that? Like, no.
Will some
change
children?
The standards.
Yes. Some children will. But change what you just said, you're going to have to change some standards.
Change the standards. These standards are too high for these kids to begin with. All right. So maybe we should go back to the way school should have been, where like they're learning through play in kindergarten instead of reading at a 4th grade level. Okay. Like that, change the standards, change the way things are done. Like now's our time to do it.
When this first started, preschool teachers said to me, they're not going to be we can't teach them to the same place that we did before they start kindergarten. And I said, well, that's good because it's universal. It's universal. It's going to force the systems to rethink at least this return over a long period. And how do we help the children to feel safe, secure, like they belong here, and then start to move them forward? You can't move forward unless you start with where you are. We have to start with where they are and do what we should be doing, which is observing, assessing what they know and don't know, where they are, and then helping them step by step to move forward. All learning is a slow process, folks.
Yeah.
All of it. There's information online and that I can share with you if you contact me about the process of learning different skills. It's a step-by-step process. So let's say they were at a certain step before schools were closed and they slip back. They have to relearn this stuff. It is not like we can skip steps, and it is not like I can accelerate their ability to absorb information just because they were home. It's not going to happen. I find it so frustrating because teachers, particularly early childhood teachers, I think, are going to feel such pressure when they go back. You know, the kids who enter pre-K in September, well, how are we going to get them ready for kindergarten because they missed most of last year? You are not going to get them ready at the same level and pace that you did in the past.
It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. Don't expect it to be the same. It's not the same. We're living in a different world. We're living in a different time. And school's going to be different. These kids are going to be different. So however you prepare them for kindergarten, you have the whole next year to do that. It's still going to be different. They're still going to be you need to meet them where they are now. This is where they are.
Just so you know, the teachers I work with who teach pre-K and their kids are moving on to kindergarten, having not been able to rejoin them in school buildings, it's breaking their hearts, these teachers. They talk to me all the time about how sad and upset they are that they don't get the chance to see them again before they go to kindergarten, to help to get them ready for that, to prepare them for the years ahead. It's really, really hard all around. And if the school systems would just say to parents and teachers, okay, we know. Yeah. We know that things can't be the same as what we expected before. It's okay. That would help so much instead of, oh my gosh, instead of these people who don't even necessarily work in education every day, getting on TV and saying, don't worry, they'll be caught up quick. No.
No.
It's so frustrating. And I wonder how many families who can, not everyone can, but how many families who can are going to choose to homeschool or choose other school options in some way. And so that impacts where children are too. Now they're making that change. And I don't know. I just feel like our expectations in a lot of cases have been really high. And it's good to have expectations to reach for. But now, oh my gosh, we need to recalibrate completely.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay. It's a whole generation, folks. It's not just your school, your town, your state, your country.
It's everywhere. It's global. Yeah.
Yep. This is our chance. I try to find what are the lessons in all hard times and what are our chances. This is our chance to recalibrate education in the way that it should be done. So please stop trying to turn back the clock. This disaster happened. It happened. It's impacting education. We know that. So education needs to do a little dance now.
Yeah.
Alison is just nodding. Alison is like, I can't.
I can't. I just can't. I don't. It really bothers me when I hear like, oh, we'll just go back to school and everything will be back to normal. And no,
nothing's going to be
normal.
It's not normal. The conditions are going to go back. It's normal for now, but it's not the old normal. And I think it's pretty safe to say, like after 9/11, there's going to be a new normal.
Right. I mean, I just feel like all these people who are saying like, oh, it'll just be fine. Like, no. And I don't want it to go back to the way it was. So like,
there you go. It's a gift to not go back sometimes.
It's a gift to go. Yeah. So I don't understand why it's almost like they just don't want to accept, which was our last episode, accept that this whole thing happened and is going to change how school is. You know what I mean? It's like they don't want to accept that. They just want to keep doing what they know, which is how it's been, because change is hard. They don't want to make that change, I guess. But it's frustrating.
I'm always telling teachers, change is hard. Doesn't make change bad. So like Alison's saying, this could be a good change.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good change. But I think you need to accept it to change it. Like you need to accept that things were not the way they should have been. Standards are too high. They always were high. Now they're going to be even higher for these kids who haven't been in school for 6 months. Change it. Change it for the better. Change it so that these kids feel safe and happy at school. Like change it so it's not so stressful at school for them. This is stressful.
Oh, it's very stressful. It's going to be stressful.
But why are people making it even more stressful by saying, oh, you, the teacher, are going to just catch them up in 3 weeks?
I have no idea.
No.
No, please don't expect that. So I'm thinking about, like, in the United States where we broadcast, the control of schools is in the hands of the states. So wouldn't it be nice if the state departments of education came out and said, okay, school superintendents in each individual district, we know that this is going to change the face of expectations for your students. Let's put work groups together to figure out how we approach that. And maybe they are, but I'm telling you, what I see on my TV is not that. No. And what I see in social media is not that. And what I see in other places, it's not. Please let it be that as you're making plans. You know, they're making plans now.
Yeah.
Please let it be. We see what has happened. We understand that teachers and school systems are going to have to deal with a lot of emotional and social issues right now. We have to deal with a lot of new regulations. We have a lot and our own stuff about this. And let them say, we see you and we know, and we're going to adjust some expectations, at least for a while. Wouldn't that be
nice?
Oh my gosh. And families, if you're a parent and you're listening to this, demand it, because otherwise your children are going to be so stressed out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
go to your Zoom Board of Ed meeting and be like, how are you adjusting the expectations?
Start attending those board meetings. I just started attending board meetings and I was like, wow, this is eye-opening.
Yeah, there you go.
It really is. I think because of the power of Zoom, like I would never show up to that in person, but because I'm on Zoom and I'm just this little square up there that nobody cares about, I'm like, oh, I could just sit here and listen. And it was amazing, the stuff I learned, both good and bad, but there were also parents there who spoke up, which is great. That's what I want to see. That's what you need to do. Like, go on those Zoom board meetings and start asking questions. That's all you have to do. Ask the question, plant the seed, and just go to every single one, ask the same questions if you have to,
But the question shouldn't be
change.
But the question shouldn't be, how are you catching my kid up? The question should be, the question should be, how are you adjusting education?
Yeah. How are you adjusting this? How are you going to do this?
Mm-hmm. How are you adjusting not just how often they wash hands and if you're taking temperatures on the way in? How are you adjusting the curriculum so that children don't feel even more stressed out by your demands? How are you doing that?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I think we really need to look at that. And so hopefully parents will ask those questions and are asking those questions so that those people in charge are like, hey, wait a minute. The public really wants us to look at it this way.
Yeah.
They are public servants after all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. All right. So food for thought, right? Food for thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not, stop listening to those people on your TV who are like, we're going to catch them up. Yeah.
Seriously,
the question from those reporters on TV should be, and how on earth do you plan to do that?
Yeah. How do you plan on doing that? What are your plans to do that? And then
they say things like, oh, we have very talented teachers. They say things like, we have very talented teachers and smart kids. Well, yeah, you probably do, but that doesn't mean you're able to catch them up like that to the prior demands. Like,
right.
All right.
I hear that a lot. Like, the kids are so smart. Yes, the kids are smart.
They are.
We have very talented teachers. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
But
and this thing happened.
And this happened. Mm-hmm. We're all different now.
Yep.
It's different.
Yep. And like we said in the prior episode, accept it.
Accept it. It's okay.
Acceptance. It's all about the acceptance.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're going to sign off, right? We're going to say goodbye.
I think so.
But before we do, How Preschool Teachers Do It podcast on Facebook, howpreschoolteachersdoit.com on the internet. That's how you can contact us and reach us and see what we say about things. And make sure to share this podcast, subscribe, rate us, write a kind review. After all, we're doing this under stress at home.
I know. Welcome to my home.
Despite our better judgment, here we are. And we've been doing it now. Guys. We've been doing it twice a week for these months, Allison. Twice a week. Our podcast is ordinarily once a week. I suspect that eventually we're going to go back to the once a week.
Back to once a week, yeah. But I think we will
just so much happens rapidly. Huh?
Oh, I know. Oh, God. Yeah, I know. I feel like every day you're like, what about this for a topic? I'm like, brilliant. Yeah. But I think we will remain on the Zoom, which was something that did come out of the COVID. We did the Zoom videos. That's something that's good that has happened. So
I think it is good. We have, we have people who follow us on YouTube, and even if they're not subscribers, they're watching because they tell us they found us on YouTube. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So please do, if you want to see our faces, we are on YouTube. And if you don't care about our faces, that's cool with us. Just go to your podcast app or your podcast provider or iHeartRadio or any of those things. We're on there. And we will catch you next time, preschool peeps.
Yeah. Bye, peeps.
Bye.